All right.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. This is Billy Drury and James Lamplow. Morning Minutes. 8 things we didn't realize about working in real estate before we joined the industry. Let's get into it.
Hope it wasn't muted.
Good morning.
Morning, Billy. How are you?
Good. So today we are talking about 8 things we didn't realize before joining the industry. Myself, just been studying at Novak full-time for 2 months, a little bit over.
2 months already, bro.
And yourself, James?
A year? Time flies when you're having fun.
It does indeed.
You've been enjoying it?
Loved it.
Good.
Yeah, loving it.
So Billy's fresh out of school. Could have gone to university to do anything that he wanted to do, but he worked in the office, started from reception from when he was 16?
16, yeah.
From when he was 16, and he's joined, and he's going to start to climb the ranks. And from my perspective, being in the industry for only a year now, or just over a year now, so probably seeing it through quite fresh lenses at this stage. So Bill, is there anything in particular that you've seen or noticed in the last 2 months that have really struck you as something you wouldn't have expected?
I think the biggest thing, especially at Novak, is the diverse roles within the business and the industry.
Yeah.
It's insane how many different jobs make up the office.
Yeah.
And everyone goes to sales when they think of real estate, but there's so much more behind it. The marketing, the leasing, the admin roles. It's all is so interconnected to make it a successful office.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will stereotype the real estate industry as just selling, but really there's a hell of a lot more depth to it than just selling. And yeah, we certainly have quite a broad diversity of roles here, with having our whole entire media agency and all sorts of different cogs and wheels that go on inside the business that make Novak operate the way it does. So it's quite a special place to be.
It is, and it's good in the sense that if one particular role is not for you, then there's so many different other avenues that you can go down within the industry that are equally rewarding and play such an important part of the business.
And I think one of the things that sort of took me by surprise was, as well, thinking of it from the lens of before I started, you stereotype it as it's just sales, it's just selling. All of the different roles, or lots of the different roles within the industry, can be really lucrative for good agents at it. So, you can be a super successful leasing agent, you can be doing BDM, property managers can make some good coin as well. So there's all sorts of different ways that, without necessarily just being a sales agent, you can still make some good money in the industry. But it's like anything, you've got to be good at what you do.
That's it. And then, like you say, there are so many holes that are yet to be filled. And so if you find ways to fill the gaps, like you say, there is a lot of potential to not only make some great money, but have a really successful and rewarding career.
Yeah. One of the things I found quite interesting, and something that sort of took me by surprise, was, again, it's moving into any industry from, I probably previously worked in the education sector. That's a very order-based industry. Very order-based, so everything is procedures, and we're still procedure-based and protocol and safeguarding and risk management here in real estate, of course. But your timetable, your schedule, you can be as chaotic as you want, or you can be as orderly as you want. So it sort of comes back down to the agent's personality types, whether they want to operate with that sort of order, or if you want to be more of a moving in the wind with a little bit more disorderly chaos, which isn't actually a bad thing necessarily, as long as you've got a bit of a balance between the two.
That's it. We work between these structures that are in place. However, like you say, your work ethic and the way you want to run your own timetable comes into effect hugely.
Yeah,
which is great.
And how have you found yours, Billy? So Billy, at the moment, doing a bit of leasing sort of work, working quite closely with some of our senior property managers. So are you finding that you've got a bit of a...
I love the way my day-to-day structure is.
Yeah.
I think it's great having the opportunity to get out of the office. At the moment,
who controls your timetable, Billy? Is it you or is it someone else?
It's you, and I think that's one of the best perks of the job. Really, is coming into an industry. 18, you expect to be, dominated from 9 to 5, being told what to do constantly.
Yeah.
But it's great in the fact that you do have control over, making your own private appointments.
Yeah.
As long as your job's done at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Billy's an animal as well, guys. Came back to the office the other night at sort of 8:30, I think it was, and Billy's still here, just working through his checklist. He had jobs to do, and he knew he had to get them done. And certainly not the type of person that sees that it's 5:30 and then gets straight out the window. Billy's hard work, making sure that everything on his checklist for the day gets done. So that's quite an impressive trait to have from such a young age, Bill. So it's good to let some people out there as well.
I mean, likewise, James. It is a job that you can't really leave behind. People have expectations of you. When you're dealing with clients, you can't just leave them behind in the dark. So you need to be on the phone, keeping people updated.
Yeah.
That's another thing that people don't maybe necessarily expect is the amount of phone calls you'll be making a day.
Yeah.
You're on the phone an awful lot.
Yeah.
So you got to be loving what you're doing.
Yeah, it can be full on, and you can feel like you're invading people's space. But at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is help them. And you, whether you're a leasing agent, whether you're sales, whether you're in property management, the goal is not self-orientated. The goal should always be consumer-orientated, and to try and find the best solution for them, putting them into a rental property, trying to find them their dream home. Whatever your role is within the industry, it can be incredibly rewarding, because you're helping people at the end of the day. And the more time you take out of your day to try and help these people, the more they're going to appreciate what you're doing for them. And especially at 8:30 when you're making phone calls in the evening and you're still doing some leasing and property management calls, Bill, it's quite impressive. And I'm sure it takes a lot of people, sort of consumers, by surprise that there are people that are working this hard and do this sort of thing. And maybe that's not the stereotype of the real estate industry from outside, that maybe they think it's more of a lifestyle type of job, but it's really not. It can consume your whole.
It's
So,
definitely not a quick buck.
Yeah.
As people might
It's not
think.
a quick fix.
It's not at all.
Long
And
term.
It's not just a sale and then you're done for a month. It really does consume your time with all the back work that goes into it.
So Nicole Marie Conway, does he have his credit for, or just his statement of attainment? Bill, at this point, you just got your certificate of registration?
Yeah, so I'm working on towards my certificate 4.
Yeah.
There's some great initiatives with the government out there at the moment that really should be taken advantage of if you can.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's too late, because I managed to slide in there not too long ago.
Yeah.
So have a look into it, because you can get put under a traineeship with a great business like Novak.
Yeah.
And it sort of pays your way to start learning the
great.
opposite to university, which is you can't get any
great.
better.
So what are you leading up to? Is that you're going to do your Cert 4 and then?
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, once you got your Cert 4, it really does open options up within the industry.
Yeah.
Where you can start moving into different sort of paths that you prefer.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all about options.
Yeah. So when you were working down at reception, Bill, from the age of 16 on Sundays, what did you see from your lens into the industry? What were you seeing from the other agents? What was going on in the office?
I saw a busy lifestyle.
Yeah.
With a lot of money to be made.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to how bad you want it.
Yeah.
I think the most successful agents in our office, and I'm sure this carries on out into the field, are the ones that are constantly working.
Yeah.
They're working on their days off. They're working, just
Grinding.
around the clock, just to
grinding. But again, it goes back to the conversation before. If you've got this work to be done and you're not doing it, and you're putting it off to the next day, you're working as a 9 to 5. I don't think you're going to get the most out of the industry, and you're not going to get the most out of yourself. So it goes down to you get in what you put, you got out what you put in.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, there's definitely some senior agents in this office that lead by example, that are working hard like that all the time. So for the young guys like Billy and I, it shows us, not just the results, but how you get to that outcome in the first place. So it's certainly a motivating place and industry to be in.
Yeah.
Billy, anything else you want to add this morning, bud?
I think it's what else can we talk about? How many coffees we drink a day?
Billy knows I'm a bit of a caffeine fiend. Caffeine every single day. It's got to be done. Maybe that's a habit to cut out in the future, but for the time being, that's the power.
That's it. We power on.
We power on. It's definitely a lifestyle choice.
That's it.
Gotta have to agree, Michelle. It's more than just your lifestyle. It really does consume your whole. And again, the more you put into this, the more you're going to get out. And if you're only doing it as a lifestyle job, you're leaving people behind in your wake as well, and you won't be giving your consumers the best service. So absolutely right, guys. I think that's a wrap. Billy, pleasure to have you on this morning. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, James, for joining me.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day today.